Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Big Kevin here, back with Big Kevin's Garage. Today, we got a little situation that I want to address. You know, it's always something happens when you thinking that, hey, I'm doing good. My old car is doing good. Things is looking on the up and up. My car's been running good and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, something happens and it's like the little monster appears out from under the bed or some type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those little things that pops up that you wasn't expecting to happen, and it happens, especially when it comes to your vehicle. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. See that little fella right there that popped up on the dash? Just like that, it comes up out of nowhere. The boogeyman. But we're not going to let the boogeyman give us put any rain in our parade. Because this time we're going to be addressing that little boogeyman, and we're going to do something about him. Yeah, we're going to do something about him. Um, we're going to do something about him. Now, I've had my mechanic to tell me that when you see that light, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something the matter with your vehicle. He told me the only time that you really want to get concerned about that light is when that light starts flashing. Now, this light is staying solid. It's not flashing. It came on a day ago. It came on, what's the day? Tuesday. It came on Sunday. Came on Sunday when I was leaving out from the country, and it came on unexpectedly. But I'm looking at all my vitals. My oil pressure's good, my temperature's good. The vehicle's charging properly. So, you know, it may not be nothing serious, but it is a concern. There's nothing worse than when you're riding with your family and all of us or some friends or something, and all of a sudden this dashboard light pops up on your dashboard, and it's like the whole vehicle gets somber. But we're gonna do something about that, and we're gonna figure out. I'm gonna do some research on it, and I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to either find out what's going on or to get that light out. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this a couple of more days, and if it doesn't go out on its own, we're gonna have to go in there and we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with old Blue. So with that being said, I'll be getting back with you guys in a couple of days and see what we got going on. With that being said, you guys have a good one. And always remember, get out in the sunlight and do something. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Big Kevin Garage, and I'm Big Kevin. Today, we got a couple of things we're going to work on today. A couple of things I need to talk about also. Now, I want to try, and I don't want to bore you guys. So I do a lot the best that I can to try to keep the video entertaining and because I know how interest is. People lose interest real quickly. And today I want to talk about some things. One thing that I saw in one of my own videos that I need to correct. Um, my last video is my clunker a junker. In that video, when I posted the video, of course you naturally go back and watch a video to make sure that you edited it, you did the editing right, everything was right, the camera setting was right, and all that stuff. And all that stuff can be, when you're doing videos and things like this, or you a YouTuber or whatever you have, you know, and when you don't have help, you you tend to make a mistake here and there. So, that's natural. That's natural. Things like that happen. But I'm the type of person that if I see something that I did wrong, I'm not afraid to say that I did something wrong. Because we all humans and we make mistakes. And and on this journey that I'm on, and I'm trying to build a community, I want to make sure that I teach people and show people the right way to do things. And not only the right way to do things, because there's a right and a wrong way to do things. So with that being said, and I know that this is going to be oh my God, here we go, we got to listen to this. But trust me, people, what I'm about to speak on is very important. And if you guys didn't mean anything to me, I wouldn't even take the time out to mention this. But this is something that I feel like that's important to me, because um it's important. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I see a lot of guys um not really thinking, they just focused on the task at hand. And a lot of these guys got a lot of followers, and these guys got endorsement deals, and these guys are just trying to produce. Not to knock anyone for what they got going on. That's not what this video here is about. Um and this is not what I'm saying. I'm not here to judge anybody, or I'm not here to knock those guys down, because I know from the little bit of time that I've been doing this it ain't as easy as I thought it was. Trust me. So I'm learning as I go. I'm a DIYer myself and all of this stuff. I am not a trained mechanic. I didn't go to school for mechanics. I'm just a normal guy that's in the backyard doing the normal thing. So, and I figured out, hey, why not put some of this stuff on YouTube? But anyway, back to what I was saying. People, when you are out here and you're working on your vehicles, and you're changing the oil and things in your vehicles, I want you to do something for me. Be mindful of safety. Yeah, I know. There that word go, the safe word. Yeah, but it's something that we got to talk about. It's something we got to address. Safety, people. When you're out here working on your vehicle, if you're finna change the oil in your vehicle, or you're changing the battery in your vehicle, make sure you wear the proper PPE. And I know, because hey, I've worked in a factory. I've been in a factory for over 30 years. Over 30 years. That's over half my life. So I've been around the safety stuff for a long time. So I know how it is, but it is what it is. Also, if you're gonna change your oil, and you got to get up under your vehicle, make sure you chalk your tire or pull your emergency brake, and make sure that that vehicle is stable. Make sure that vehicle won't roll. Now, if you have to raise your vehicle up with a jack, if you don't have any jack stands, get a center block, or get a block of wood. Get something to put up under that vehicle in case the jack gives way, because you don't want to trust just the jack alone. You don't want to do that. You want to put you a jack stand up under your vehicle or center block. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about for as a jack stand, let me show you. This is a jack stand. This is I don't know. I think it's about a 6 ton jack stand, but you don't need one quite as strong as in heavy duty as this one. 3 ton may be about somewhere in the neighborhood of a medium jack stand. This is a 6 ton jack stand because I have a heavier vehicle and I want to make sure I got enough of a stand to hold that vehicle in case that vehicle come crashing down. So I got this is a 6 ton jack stand, but you can probably get by with at least a 3 ton jack stand. So with that being said, I always think safety first, people, because like myself, I'm out here by myself and no one's, somebody may not be home or a lot of times, like I said, I'm just back here in the workshop by myself. There's nobody back here with me. So I'm doing this and I'm going up under vehicles and I'm doing all that. I need to take the time out and make sure what I'm doing it in a safe manner. Now, we've got that out the way. Today's video. Now, in my last video, I changed the oil in my Trailblazer. Okay. I went through that and I done that and got the oil changed. Drove the vehicle around. Everything was okay. And then all of a sudden, maybe a day or two later, my engine light came on. And my engine light came on. And I was like, wow, okay. But that's not the first time that engine light has came on. It has came on a few times before, and what I said earlier is true. My mechanic, one of the mechanic guys that I use, that I'm real good friends with, he told me, he said, just because the engine light come on, don't mean that there's a problem. Sometimes they just come on, and sometimes they'll stay on for a day or two, or a couple of days, maybe a week, and maybe it'll, whatever the situation was, maybe it'll correct itself. He said also, if that light don't start, if that light starts flashing, coming, just flashing like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention, you need to give me some attention, then you may have a problem. But that light has been on now for about 3 or 4 days, and I need to try to find out why. And in today's video, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find out why that light is on. Now, I'm not recommending this because, like I said, I can't recommend something that I haven't tried myself. And I'm working on my own vehicle and I'm using my own vehicle as a guinea pig. So with that being said, I purchased this thing. Now, what this thing is a code reader. How good this thing works, I don't know. I've never used one before. Made in China. Okay. This may be a good one. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm gonna find out today. I did do some research on it. I did read the manual. I did that last night. I read the manual and it seemed like a pretty simple code reader, but how simple it is, I don't know. We're going to find out how simple it is. Hopefully it'll tell me why that light is on. And it's also you can turn that light that's on, you can turn it off with this, supposedly with this little gadget here. Let's get it open. Now this is one of those inexpensive ones, Amazon special. It has a what is this, UBS cord. It comes with that you can plug to your laptop, and it's just a really fairly simple little gadget here. It's not very inexpensive. So, and it's not a high tech. It's not a high tech mechanic code reader or nothing like that. It seems to be very simple to use. It says it works with all compliant cars, light duty trucks, SUVs, minivans, and hybrids sold worldwide. Well, I don't have a hybrid, but I do have a SUV. And I do have a couple of light duty trucks. So we're gonna see what this thing here can do. Like I say, this is my first time using something like this. And before I recommend using one of these things, I want to use it first and see what it does and see how simple and how easy it is to work. And maybe at the end of the video, I could give you some kind of assessment about this little code reader and tell you how good it worked and how good it don't work. Like I said, I did do a little research. I did read the manual. The manual was kind of simple. It's got some things in there that I highlighted, to help me try to help me through this. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get old Blue pulled up here, and the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check the oil, make sure that the oil is still where it needs to be. And then after I do that, and if that light's still on, I'm gonna see what I can do to get that light turned out. So with that being said, I'm gonna get back with you guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I went on ahead and um, got this thing plugged up. And I'm gonna see what we got going on here. And I'm hoping that the language is English. I'm sure English, yes. All right, let's go to config monitors, unit measure, key, beep set. I got to beep this. Okay. All of this basically right here is what I'm doing right here is really just the setup of this thing. So we can go on past that. What I'm looking for is what's going on. Erase previous stored data to save data from this test. No. Read codes. Okay. Read. Turn key on with engine off. Press any key to continue. Okay, I've done that. Okay. Module present. And see, people, this is why I'm saying that I want to do this first before I do anything to tell anybody anything about this, because you can erase some stuff in your computer and damage your computer in your vehicle, and that ain't what you want to do. Data. Let's see. Now, some of these arrows are kind of conflicting, because some of this stuff is not what you really want to do. I'm trying to figure out what we need to do to find out what's going on. Coolant thermostat. Hmm. Cooler thermostat. Temperature below thermostat regulating temperature. Okay. Okay. That tells me something. Now let's see if I can erase trouble code. Are you sure? Yes. Now, I erased that code. I want to like I said, I'm just learning this now. Y'all give me a little bit of time. Give me a few minutes. Don't get too impatient with me, because I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, um, I'm back. That wasn't half bad. That wasn't bad at all. Um, that wasn't bad at all. Now, back to this little gadget here. This little gadget here. It did just what it said it could do. It could read your codes. It could it can print your codes. You just have to hook it up to a laptop, and maybe we'll get to that point because I do have a laptop and I do have a printer. You could print off your codes. You can do that also with this little gadget. I haven't done that yet, but further on down the line, a little bit more advanced and a little bit better I get at this mechanic stuff, I'm going to learn how to do all of that. I'm gonna get in contact with a guy that got a little bit more knowledge than what I have, and I'm gonna tell him what I found, and I'm gonna see what he has to say about that, because I find that kind of strange. I'm gonna check the coolant in my vehicle, make sure that the coolant is up to par. But I find it kind of strange because when I was running the vehicle, my temperature gauge, it stayed below 200 degrees. So the temperature didn't rise. Now, will I have some issues going on with my thermostat? Maybe. I don't know. But like I said, I'm gonna talk to somebody that has a little bit more knowledge than what I have. Um, but yeah, I'm not saying go out and buy you one of these, because um you need to do some research, talk to somebody first before you do, that has a lot more knowledge than what I have about these code readers. Me personally, I found that it is very handy. It did do what it said. I was able to turn that light out. So I don't have this big service engine light blaring in my face. I'm gonna keep my eye on my temperature gauges and all those things. I'm gonna get in contact with my mechanic that has more knowledge than I have, and I'm gonna talk to him about it and see what he says. And just gonna continue to drive Old Blue. Now, if that light comes back on in the next couple of days, I know that I got something real serious going on, and I need to definitely get it to a mechanic that's more experienced than I am. But yeah, I was impressed with that. I really was. It was simple. The buttons are big, so you can see them. Um, and I wasn't overwhelmed with, because this booklet is pretty thick, and I had to read this booklet and this manual, and I highlighted some things in the manual that I thought was important. So yeah. But if you do decide to get you one of these things, this here brand is a Foxwell. You can get it on Amazon. Make sure it's compatible with your vehicle, because it's not compatible with all vehicles. It was compatible to my old Chevrolet Trailblazer, so it what word am I looking for? It it was compatible. It was compatible with it. So if you have a vehicle and you want to get yourself a code reader, I mean, you can if you want to, but do your research first. Don't just go out and just buy any code reader. Do your research on it like I did. I did my research first before I just bought one. I still got a lot of more learning to do with that, because I'm not really 100% saying that, hey, I can just go out here and just start plugging up people's vehicle and tell them what's going on with it, because that was my first time using it and it worked out fine for me, but that it may not work out fine for the next guy. So with that being said, this is going to conclude this video. So yeah, just because your service engine light comes on, there's really no need to just go into panic mode. Um, you may just have some simple issues going on, and you can take your vehicle to a auto parts store. If I'm not mistaken, AutoZone does it. You can take it to them, or if you decide to take it to you back to your dealership or wherever you bought the car, and have them to check the car out for you, you can do that. But I think they charge. So I just don't want to. The reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want to leave you without any options, and I just don't want to say, hey, just go out and buy you a code reader, and I don't want to do that either. But I need a little bit more experience with that thing. It worked out fine for me that time, but next time I may run into some issues. So as I get better, I'm going to bring you more information as I learn it. So yeah, that worked out okay. But ladies and gentlemen, I got a lot of yard work to do. I got some more things on Old Blue I'm gonna work on off camera. Uh, so yeah, I got a few more things to do, and I hope this video was helpful. Um, I hope it was. If it wasn't, my apologies. But yeah, you do have some options. If your engine light comes on, you can check with AutoZone, and they're going to give you a code. So you're still going to have to find a mechanic to take the code to, so the mechanic can diagnose what that code is. And also, I found out that you can Google the code. Oh man, I think, yeah, you can Google the code, and that from Google it'll tell you what that code means. So yeah, you do have some options with that. But anyway, back to what I was fixing to do. Yeah, I got a few things in the yard I got to do. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys following me. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos. And I'm gonna learn. And if you follow me, you're gonna learn as well as I'm gonna learn. And I'm teaching myself this stuff um in my backyard. I'm learning as I go. I am gonna make some mistakes, and everything that I do ain't gonna be perfect. So you seasoned guys, you're more than welcome to watch my videos, but please don't be too hard on me in the comments, because like I said, I am not I'm not a trained mechanic. I'm just a DIYer. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. And if you made it to the end, I really appreciate that. I kind of fumbled and bumbled because I was just so not used to I was trying to figure it out as I was going. So yeah, but nevertheless, I got it done, and I got a little bit of information that I need to take a little bit further. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, think safety. And another thing, always remember, get out in the sunlight and do something.